Okay, in our previous lesson, we looked at the arrange commands. We looked at bring forward, bring to front, send backward, and send to back. Now that we have our objects drawn, the next thing we're going to look at is grouping and ungrouping objects. So when you talk of grouping, grouping simply refers to combining several objects together to form one object. And now that we have our objects drawn, you can even add more if you so wish, but to combine this so that you can be able to form one object, because as you can see, these objects are independent, so they are separated from each other. So to combine them together to form one object, we are going to group them together. So how do we group? What you do, using your selection tool, drag along the area where you want drag along the area where your objects are, which you want to group. You select them like that, and then you click on object, you choose group. So when you group, it means that now they'll be treated as one object. So all these blocks of objects will be treated as one object. Even when you select them, they'll be one particular object. If you want to ungroup an object, you want to ungroup this object, because now this one is a grouped object. You need to select the grouped object, then you click on object, then you choose ungroup. So once you choose ungroup, you deselect and then you move your objects. Now they'll be independent. They'll be independent of each other. So that is how you group and ungroup objects. Another thing that we are going to look at is the keyboard shortcuts for grouping and ungrouping. So if you want to group your objects, just select your objects like that. So to group, you press Control plus letter G. So Control plus letter G, G for girl, to group your objects. If you want to ungroup your objects, you simply press Control Shift G. Control plus Shift plus G to ungroup your objects. So that is how you group and ungroup objects in Adobe Illustrator. Otherwise, the other thing that we can look at, we are going to look at locking and unlocking objects. So if you want to lock objects together, or you want to lock a particular object, just select on the object that you want to lock, click on object, then you say lock, and then you say selection. We have lock selection, we have all artwork above, and you have layers. If you say lock selection, it means that it will only lock the selected object. So even if you try to select it, it will not be selected. Otherwise, if you want to unlock, just go to object and then you say unlock all. So it will unlock everything. If you want to unlock all the objects, just go to object. If they are all of them, just select all of them like that. Click on object, you say unlock, just say lock, and then you say all artwork above. Okay, if you say all artwork above, it means that the artwork above this particular selection will be locked. Otherwise, if I choose on object, you can say I can come and select all those, go to object, lock selection. So it will lock these particular objects. I can unlock all so that now they are independent, so that you can now edit and you can move them from one point to another. So that is how you lock and unlock object. So in our next lesson, we are going to look at what we call the Pathfinder commands. Otherwise, thank you very much and see you in our next lesson.